the Ukraine CBD project Hryvnia. Shout out to Larry, I guess, who originally covered this, if I'm not mistaken. Coming quicker than originally planned, right? Says January 2021, the department chose Stellar Development Foundation, SDF, as a partner, right? And on top of that, it states a little bit what you see right here. We're going to jump right into this. And here's this particular one. And I, of course, covered this whole thing about the Stellar New Aid Initiative and, how Stellar is basically helping the people of Ukraine. But look at this right here. Ukraine speeds up digital Hryvnia project plans pilot for this year. This was originally posted 3 days ago, so it's still pretty fresh. Ukrainian authorities are speeding up the development of the electronic Hryvnia, a high-ranking government official indicated. The executive power in Kyiv is now in talks with the central bank and businesses involved in the project to pilot the digital currency as early as this year. And again, by the way, remember what we said before? You got to keep in mind that this whole thing of crypto adoption was really, really big. You had Ukraine, who at one point had a 12% adoption rate, where the rest of the world was like 4 or 5% at the time. I'm talking about, of course, before the whole Russia-Ukraine war. And if anything, since the war, last reports I saw were it was up as high as 20%, might be even higher, right? So there's a lot of supply and demand for crypto there because, if anything, fiat just doesn't get the job done, especially in a war zone. It says, Minister says Ukraine aims to launch digital Hryvnia sooner than planned. This is a particular update in regards to what we reported. I think it was originally maybe a month or two ago. It says Ukraine's Ministry of Digital Transformation wants to step up efforts to finalize the development of the nation's electronic Hryvnia, which is called the e-Hryvnia. Its head, Mikhailo Fedorov, revealed in an interview the initial plan was to start the pilot phase in 2024, but the government now wants to do that this year. Right? Because maybe they feel as though there could be something to be said about maybe post-Ukraine, or whatever the case be. I'm not going to state like who's going to win the war or anything, but it's nice to see something being put in place, and of course the connection to Stellar. So it says the first blockchain transactions with the digital Hryvnia have already been conducted. Fedorov told the business news portal RBC Ukraine, quote, it's developing. I was recently presented with an electronic Hryvnia based on the Stellar product. So again, for people who want to say, "Oh, just get to the connection, Max. I want the proof. Otherwise, I'm going to flood the heck out of it." All right, well, boom, there you go, flooders. Anyway, not you guys, but anyway, the minister said in January 2021, the department chose the Stellar Development Foundation as a partner in the development of. I read so much sometimes that words are just. Is becoming oblivious to my eyes. I know it sounds crazy. The Stellar Development Foundation as a partner in the building of the country's virtual assets ecosystem, including infrastructure for the Ukrainian Central Bank Digital Currency CBDC. The National Bank of Ukraine, which is NBU, presented draft a Hryvnia concept to members of the crypto industry, banks, and other institutions in November 2022. In January this year, Tascom Bank carried out tests with the currency on the Stellar network. That's big in itself. Now listen to this. We're always talking about this whole thing about CBDCs. I mean, we cover it a lot, right? A lot of you guys follow everything when it comes to this, obviously Quant with the whole thing with the Digital Pound Foundation, what they got going with the UK, what they got even going on with the US, what they got going on obviously with LAC chain, right? Latin America. CBDCs are a hot topic, especially for 2023, and let's face it, going on to future years. The plan to introduce the CBDC is included in the central bank strategy for 2025. Fedorov also serves as Ukraine's deputy prime minister. Didn't know that. Said he had written a letter to the NBU in which he insisted it's necessary to speed up the development of the electronic Hryvnia. As prescribed by the current Ukrainian legislation, the NBU should launch the digital Hryvnia pilot in 2024. The digital minister reminded, but we want to start this year, not postpone to next. or to the next, emphasized Fedorov, who is also a crypto proponent. Key consistent thing here: Ukrainian people, for the most part, or the ones that understand this, right, are always big proponents of crypto. I mean, heck, I mean, again, like I mentioned originally, compare their population even to ours. Yeah, we have, what is it, like 350 million people in the United States, give or take. I have to double check the census report. Obviously, a lot more people live here than the likes of Ukraine, but there's something to be said about, crypto adoption per capita, if you will, right? So it says, despite the ongoing conflict with Russia, Fedorov recently confirmed Kyiv's very ambitious plan to make Ukraine the most digitalized country in the next 2 years. They even have plans for the future post-war. Will the war go on many years? I mean, yeah, I know people say that, so I'm not trying to get in a big debate over the war. But it's nice to see that you have people here that recognize the potential of cryptocurrency, and particularly what? The stellar connection, right? So it says digitalization is going to be the foundation for rebuilding. We're doing these reforms during the war, Fedorov told reporters at the silence of the World Economic Forum in Davos last month, also promising that the Eastern European nation will become the best crypto jurisdiction in the world. I mean, that's pretty bold, and it sounds really nice. I mean, if anything, it's like trying to boost the morale and so on, trying to sound gung-ho. And of course, there's some questions that were asked, right? Like even to you guys that are here tonight, not just on this article. It says, do you think Ukraine will be able to launch the digital Hryvnia this year? Tell us in the comments. Well, how about this? You tell us in our particular comments. Let us know what you think about this. But either way, it's nice to see that the Stellar Foundation is connected with this and so on, because any news in regards to Stellar, the way I look at it, is worth sharing.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.